We begin today's wrestling news and rumors video with a bit of news coming out of last night's episode of Monday Night Raw, which was by all means a very important show for WWE, and in all honesty sort of had the feeling of a typical Raw after WrestleMania, with all the big moments that had occurred throughout the 3-hour broadcast. Among the big talking points coming out of Raw last night, one of the biggest was without question Nikki Cross aka Nikki Ash successfully cashing in her women's Money in the Bank contract on Charlotte Flair after her title match against Rhea Ripley, with Nikki Cross achieving her biggest accolade of her entire wrestling career by winning the Raw Women's Championship, thus tallying up Charlotte's latest title run at just 1 day, seeing as though Charlotte had just won the Raw Women's title from Rhea Ripley the night prior at Money in the Bank 2021. While a lot of fans were a bit annoyed by the fact that WWE decided to go with Nikki Ash to win the women's Money in the Bank briefcase and contract to begin with, there's no doubt that Nikki's cash-in last night on Monday Night Raw was a truly unexpected moment, and perhaps Nikki will go on to have a great title reign. Although given Vince McMahon's and WWE's track record, and taking into account the fact that Nikki's current gimmick and persona is a bit of a comedic storyline, there is a good chance that Nikki Ash's Raw Women's title reign will not be lasting for too long. But hopefully we're wrong and that the WWE give Nikki a respectable title run, because she certainly deserves a chance to shine after being underutilized for so long in WWE. However, the big talking point here is why exactly WWE decided to have Charlotte Flair's Raw Women's title run end so abruptly after finally besting Rhea Ripley at Money in the Bank 2021, and apparently there are a few reasons as to why WWE did this. Now apparently WWE were firstly unhappy with the fact that Charlotte Flair had flipped off the fans at Money in the Bank 2021 before her match against Rhea Ripley, because while WWE do want to sometimes stray away from their PG guidelines, when Vince and other backstage officials plan and script for certain non-PG things to happen, Charlotte Flair going off script and blatantly flipping off fans on live television was reportedly not well received backstage, and is a bit of a way to let Charlotte Flair know that she needs to respect the rules and not let her emotions get the better of her from the fans' backlash towards her. WWE decided to have Charlotte Flair lose the Raw Women's title as a result. Although at the same time, the other rumored reason for Nikki Ash cashing in her Money in the Bank contract on Raw yesterday is more in Charlotte Flair's favor, because as many of you are likely aware, WWE want for Charlotte Flair to eventually break her father Ric Flair's title reign record of 16 World Championships, and giving Charlotte numerous title reigns that only last a matter of days will definitely help get Charlotte closer to breaking this record in the coming years. Whatever the case may be, Charlotte Flair has once again had a very short title reign, and Nikki Cross aka Nikki Ash had the biggest moment of her entire wrestling career last night by cashing in her Money in the Bank contract successfully. And Nikki Cross's future in WWE looks a lot more promising and bright than it did just a few weeks ago, so that is definitely good news for Nikki and her fans. With that said, let us know your thoughts on the rumored reasons for Charlotte Flair's extremely short Raw Women's title reign, and are you happy that Nikki Ash is finally getting a big push following her successful Money in the Bank cash-in, or do you fear that WWE may decide to pull the plug on Nikki's push in the near future? We now have a bit of news regarding Daniel Bryan's status in WWE, because as most of you are well aware, the last time fans had seen Daniel Bryan in WWE was back in April 2021, when he lost the Universal title match against Roman Reigns on SmackDown, with it later being revealed that Daniel's contract with the company had expired, and Daniel had chosen not to re-sign at that point, leaving there to be a lot of speculation on what's next for Daniel Bryan between re-signing with WWE, retiring, or perhaps signing with another wrestling company like New Japan Pro Wrestling or AEW. Now, while there was some speculation a while back that Daniel Bryan could have decided to re-sign with WWE and return at some point in the near future, that is reportedly not the case with the new information that has been provided. Now, according to a new backstage report, Daniel Bryan is not listed on the internal WWE roster, nor is Bryan being a part of any merchandising plans for this year next, and Daniel is not scheduled for any action figure releases from Mattel moving forward. Clearly, Daniel Bryan is officially done with WWE, and let us know what you think is next for Daniel Bryan after leaving WWE. While the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns will have his hands full heading into the upcoming SummerSlam 2021 pay-per-view event with the recently returning John Cena. As it has been reported previously, John Cena is not being planned to be ending Roman Reigns' Universal title run this year, and is more so to be a high-profile feud for the Tribal Chief at SummerSlam. And if new backstage rumors are true, another SmackDown Superstar could very well be putting an end to Roman Reigns' Universal Championship run in the near future, and it would involve a shocking storyline swerve that has been rumored to happen for quite some time. With Big E winning the 2021 Men's Money in the Bank contract and briefcase, there are not surprisingly already a lot of rumors regarding what the WWE's plans are for Big E. And while some speculated that Big E would be moving over to Raw to challenge for Bobby Lashley's WWE Championship, that may not be happening, and Vince may be planning a shocking storyline that few fans would see coming. Now, according to a new backstage report, Vince McMahon and WWE are considering to finally have Paul Heyman betray and turn on Roman Reigns on SmackDown in the coming weeks, and inevitably help Big E successfully cash in his Money in the Bank contract on Roman Reigns, with Big E then becoming the new Universal Champion and Paul Heyman's new client. Like it has been reported before, WWE feel like Roman Reigns does not really need Paul Heyman anymore, especially now that the Usos have fully aligned with Roman Reigns, and the Samoan Bloodline faction has formed, with new members such as Naomi rumored to join the group soon. And Vince feels it's time for Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman to part ways, and for Big E to receive a monstrous push in WWE. With Vince McMahon feeling like Paul Heyman and Big E would work great together, with both stars being babyfaces. And if this storyline swerve does happen, don't be surprised if it occurs while Roman is still feuding with John Cena. Braun Strowman was unquestionably the biggest and most surprising WWE release or firing this year, but with the new rumors and reports going around regarding the monster among men, Braun Strowman may shockingly be on his way back to WWE after being unceremoniously let go back in early June 2021. For those of you unaware, WWE has released new merchandise for Braun Strowman on WWEshop.com, with the company releasing a new Monsters Are Real muscle t-shirt and Monsters Are Real tank top. There is no word yet on exactly what this means and if it in fact confirms Braun Strowman is returning to WWE, but it's certainly very noteworthy news. And like we had mentioned before, it could have been Vince McMahon's tactic all along to release Braun Strowman and then shortly after try to re-sign Braun for less money. However, this Braun Strowman merchandise simply could have been pre-scheduled to be released, and WWE is simply releasing it now before Braun Strowman's non-compete clause with WWE runs up. But it will be interesting to see how the story develops and if Braun does come back to WWE.